Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I have an amazing update for the 100 species ecosystem tank. I'm going to add 5 new species of plants, so floating crystalwort, dwarf Ambulia, also Amazon frogbite, common Salvinia, Cryptocoryne green and dwarf Hygrophila. And we are going to feed our fish at the end. So stay tuned until the end of the video. It's an amazing video with amazing underwater footage. Let's start. Before we can get all of the new plants into the tank and also feed the fish later on, I have to get rid of some of the filamentous algae still. This has been a problem for some weeks and months, or for the last like 3 months that this tank has been running. Always watch out for small snails like this red-rimmed Melania snail juvenile here that I just released from these filamentous algae, because they love to eat filamentous algae basically, but they are also hiding in the algae, and I don't want to throw away snails into the garbage, because like it would be a terrible death for these animals. That's why I'm always very careful there. Also tiny baby shrimp and tiny fish. So you can see this is not slowed down here or anything. I really do this as slow as you can see here, because I want to give the animals the chance, if it's baby guppies, baby shrimp or any other fry, to escape the algae when I remove it. And I always like to do it like this, just like when you, so to say, comb through your hair, but the comb this time is your hand, and you try to gently remove all of the filamentous algae. It's a very meditative process, I would say. So this is a small hack that I like to use when I siphon the tank water. Just have a little bit of water in it, because I don't like this fish water, this aquarium water in my mouth. Just try to keep your thumb on both. And then take this bucket, put one of the ends in there and the other end in the tank, and watch out that this end is lower than the one in the end, in the tank, sorry. So you create this sort of distance of heights, and through that the water flows from the point of higher pressure to the point of lower pressure, so to say, and this is done by gravity basically. So in the end the water is flowing, and you don't need any like technical gadget for that. You just need a pipe from the DIY store for 1 or 2 euros. It's enough to keep your tank clean basically. And what I like to do is just siphon a little bit these bigger chunks of dirt from the surface of the stones and from the surface of the sand, because the sand is relatively bright. It's this yellowish white sand that I got, and you can see every dirt particle basically. It has many advantages to use sand, but also some disadvantages, and the main disadvantage is that you can see every bit of dirt on it. So if you do like a little cleanup every 1 or 2 weeks maybe, this is not a problem at all. No, you can see there's some snails in there. I don't want to put them into the toilet. I will manually catch them and then put them also in the paludarium. So this will be my next long form video update, where I add some snails to the paludarium tank, some ramsworm snails that Adrian gave me, but also some other snails. And Melania snails, you can always feel when they hold on to the glass, so you need to be super gentle with them and remember how large their parents are. Their parents are like maybe 10 times larger than this one. This is a small one, and we will put it into the paludarium tank as well. Always make sure that you don't pour the water directly on the soil to not disturb the soil structure, because there's sand on the top and pond soil on the bottom of this tank, and if the pond soil gets out, you will have a dirty tank. It looks very terrible, and you will risk an algae bloom. So schwer das Ding. Alright, so and let's go. So I just told the cameraman Eric that this bucket is freaking heavy, because it's like 10 kilograms, and it is quite heavy if you have to hold it in this upright position. So I wanna put it in fast because it's heavy, but I also have to put it in slow to prevent this algae bloom from happening. And this is also something that occurs in nature when you have, like, for instance, from agriculture, water or fertilizers flowing into natural river systems, huge algae blooms come up. And now let's turn on the filter. The guppies really enjoy this. You can tell that they are getting more active now and more interested. Maybe a little freaked out by the stream, but I love how this small internal filter creates this river-like stream, especially with the Vallisneria leaves.
Alright, so every one of you who watched my last episode where I visited Adrian, one of my followers, close to my hometown here in Leingarten, he gave me some of his plants and they're quite amazing. We have Amazon frogbite, we have a small variety of duckweed, we have some, I think those are Cryptocorynes, but another species than the one that I have. We have some plants with red leaves. No, those are Cryptocorynes. And now I'm just going to take them. And also this very interesting plant here, which is supposed to be amazing for shrimp grow. And you cannot plant them inside something and not inside soil. So you have to put them into the free water. And let's start with those maybe. Just take them. Amazing and healthy plants, I must say. And I will put them in the section where I have the Anubias already. And just sort of like stick them there so they can, yeah, go free in the water, so to say. Let's put them in there.
And this is pretty important for this kind of plant. Adrian told me that if you stick them into the soil, they will just die. However, if you let them float in the water, and I'm trying to stick it here to the Anubias baterinana, but it won't stay there, it will just float in the end like an actual floater plant or floating plant. And its name is actually floating crystalwort, which is also quite fitting, I would say. And its scientific name, in case you wonder, is Riccia fluitans. The next plant I'm adding is called Asian Marshweed. It's called Asian Marshweed. Or Dwarf Ambulia. The scientific name would be Limnophila sessiliflora. And to be honest, the plant is quite difficult to grab. That's why I lose it all the time here. And with my tweezers, I feel like I'm breaking it. But let's see. I try to still put it into the soil. And Adrian gave me like 3 or 4 cuttings of this plant. And what I love about this Limnophila plants is that they are very granular and have a very sort of delicate structure, which is actually amazing for fry and also for shrimplets to develop and to grow up, so to say, because it provides a hiding space for them from larger predatory fish and also other predatory species. And for a shrimplet, basically everything is a predatory species, so that's a good thing. So this next plant that Adrian gave me lots of them, he actually prepared them in a bucket for me, which was quite nice. It's called Cryptocoryne venti green, sorry, that's not a Cryptocoryne yet. It's a Dwarf Hygrophila, so please forget what I just said. It's a Dwarf Hygrophila, and it's called Hygrophila polysperma. And just like the Hygrophila Corymbosa stricta, it grows in a way that it looks like a palm tree, more or less, I would say. That's what describes it quite well. And these plants are very easy to handle. They look a little bit rotten already because I left them in this bucket a little too long, but they are easy to handle.
So this Amazon frogbite here looks actually amazing. Here this other plant floats up, but I will leave it here, doesn't matter. And here we have another kind of floater plant. Maybe this is the Amazon frogbite and this is another one. I'm not 100% sure because this is another species than this one here. Let's see, we will see how it develops. Some more here. They look so healthy, these plants. Really glad that Adrian shared them with me in exchange for some of my guppies. Another one of these plants, I will just put this into the water because I'm afraid that the other ones might just die because it's relatively tough to put them in with the tweezers without breaking them. And I'm a little bit afraid that I killed them, so I will put this in here just to see how it develops. So we have one of them here in the floating section of the tank, and some of them here in this midsection in the ground. Let's see which ones develop better. We have some more of those plants here that are nameless until now. I must say, I think I left them too long in this bucket. They don't look super healthy anymore. Maybe they will recover.
And if not, I will have to get them either out of the tank again, or probably my fish will just eat them, the fish and the snail. I think these plants, compared to the biomass that is already in the tank, are not really that much of a mass, yeah. And the plants, they will just be devoured if they rot. However, I know from experience that Hygrophila Corymbosa stricta is extremely tough, so I think that the Dwarf Hygrophilas that I just put in there, or the Hygrophila polysperma, as I found out later, are also quite tough. So let's see what the future brings for these plants. And if you want, you can like and subscribe, so like this video and subscribe to my channel to see how these plants will do in the future. This is a great way to support me and my videos here, and it's also for you an amazing thing because you can then see how these plants will develop over the next few months and also years, because I plan to do this for a very long time, basically.
This is also quite interesting. If you look on these new plants that have entered now, the guppies always go there and take some bites. Now you can't see it, you just couldn't see it. These things here.
And let's just clean up the top here a little bit. Which is always a nice part of this whole process. Now you can see the tank. It looks crystal clear after this little cleaning maintenance.
It's one of the little Cryptocorynes that I got from Adrian, and I like it so much already. It looks so amazing in this tank, especially because I don't have any other red plant in this tank yet, except for the Vallisneria australis gigantea, who turn red when they get closer to the light. But this one is the only plant that is red from a natural kind of in a natural way. Also, the other Cryptocorynes turn a little reddish, but not red. Not really red like this one. I love it because some of the guppies are also red, some of the shrimp are red, and it looks amazing. And also these plants here. They look so tiny and granular. I think it's an amazing addition that I got here for this tank. And so many new species. And you can see, although their whole world got just turned upside down, guppies always try to have sex. So there's one female, and you can see the males chasing it. And this is the way they reproduce. So amazing. Let's wait for another 10 minutes and then we can feed them.
Alright, let's give them some dry food. My guppy fish and black molly, they love their dry food. I usually give them like a more diverse diet. Sometimes I feed them banana, sometimes I give them salad like lettuce, sometimes carrots, but you need to cook them a little bit. On every day or every other day, depending on the week, I feed them with normal dry food. I like to use pond food, like for pond fish, because basically it's the exact same thing. It's just way more and cheaper, and dry food doesn't go bad. Like it has an expiration date, but usually you can feed it longer. The fish don't care, and I like to give my fish like a really diverse food or diverse diet, and you can even feed them with your hands or by using some of the dry food. and putting it between your fingers, and they will just eat it from your fingers. So they are really pets, I would say. And yeah, you can wait a little bit, and then the guppies, they come to my fingers and they just munch it away. And I must really say, I absolutely love this natural color of these Endler guppies, the Pocelia vingae. The males, they look all like clones, basically, clones from each other. And here you can see it from another angle, filmed from inside of the water. And these guppies, they just enjoy their life. I think you can see how vital they are, how healthy they are. And the black molly is he's just circling around the tank and looking first of all for food and to defend its territory. Basically, he's really the boss in this tank. And maybe you guys have name suggestions for this guy. He's alone in this tank. I don't want to get other black mollies because he's really huge. He's like 3 inches, I think, like 9.5 centimeters, something like this. And also sometimes he just eats these catfish tabs. I use these pleco tabs or tabs that I just put in there. I don't have plecos or otocinclus or other fish that suck on surfaces or live on the surfaces, but I have Corydoras paleatus. I have one large Corydora that I got from a friend, the same friend that I got the black molly from. You can see both here in this shot, and like 4 or 5 small Corydoras paleatus. I don't know how to distinguish male and females here, and I'm quite sure that the large one is a female. It's just very large, yeah, and usually in fish the larger ones are the females, and they just love eating everything that falls on the ground. And I feel like the sand is really beneficial for the Corydoras here. They love sifting through the sand, and I don't know if it would be very animal friendly if you just have gravel in the tank. So I really think that the sand is beneficial for the Corydoras and supports their natural behavior, which means that they just sift through the sand. And usually they don't come to the surface. Sometimes they do, I feel like, to breathe also, but you can see them swimming down there and circling around like little sharks around their pleco tabs or their catfish tabs. And they are my little extended cleaning crew, I would say. Like the basis of my cleaning crew are of course the life bearers. So both the mollies and the guppies, they eat a lot of algae, a lot of plants, like also rotten plant leaves, but they are the basis of my cleaning crew. Then we have all of the snails that are in this tank, which is bladder snails, but also zebra nereids, and of course the Corydoras, and our newest addition, the shrimps. So we have Amano shrimp and Neocaridina shrimp, and you can watch this video here that I will link on the right hand side if you want to see how I added the shrimp and which shrimp I added to this tank. And if you are interested in a newer video, you can also check the video on the left hand side here.